seen this in my own journey, how the narcissist downgrades after your relationship. You know, they may have done such a big smear campaign or done something so tragic at the end of the relationship. They might have told you all these derogatory terms, totally devalued you, or maybe you had to run away from them because they become so toxic. But either way, they always slip into the same pattern of what I've noticed through my experience, is that they downgrade after. And you know what makes it a whole lot worse? What makes it a whole lot worse is the fact of how they actually tried to glorify the new supply to us. They'll do it through their social media. They'll do it through, you know, even if they actually could be able to, they would love to walk past with you holding hands with the new person. And the thing is, yeah, this is because they're such delusional beings, these narcissists. They're so delusional that they actually believe their own lies, right? They're so deluded. And this is because they're plugged into these demonic entities. The demonic entities make them deluded. You're not dealing with a normal human being. So yes, temporarily, momentarily, they're loving the fact they're with this new supply. And you know what? It does catch us off guard. It catches us off guard and it causes a little sting. But that's all we're going to call it. It's a little sting to our ego. It's a little sting. It hurts us a little bit. But when you look deeper between the lines of this matrix, you look deeper between the surface of the photo that you see on social media, or you look deeper behind what you witness, you will see how everything that is done on those photos is done with you in mind, because it's already hit them. It has already hit them, and they already knew. Yeah, momentarily they're acting like on the surface, and if we believe they're like normal human beings, then naturally we'll believe that. But behind the surface, it's not the case. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you very much. But yeah, if you look deeper between the photos or whatever that you're watching, the videos or whatever you're seeing on their social media, if you're still watching their social media, they're doing it with you in mind, because they realize they have downgraded. They've hit such a low. It's hit them like a ton of bricks. You've got to understand that they had an inflated sense of self. If after, when you was about to break up, you kind of pled a little bit, or you tried to work things out, because naturally as chosen ones, we're empathetic individuals, we're caught off guard, we're thinking, we're problem solvers, we're trying to solve the problems, we're doing all of the action, and they're kind of either shooing us away, or you was in such a toxic situation, you had to run away from it, so they were driving you out the door, you know? Either, this makes them have an inflated sense of self. They have this to such a high degree initially. Now, they're either coaching the new supply, yeah, their new supply that they don't realize is a downgrade yet. And they're either coaching them at the beginning, they're courting them, and they're doing it behind your back, or they've done this, they've just jumped to someone straight after your relationship very quickly. Either, initially, in this circumstance, they're actually infatuated with the new supply. They're lost, they're delusional. As I've mentioned earlier on in the video, these lot are lost and they're totally deluded characters, and they're functioning from a demonic realm. Yeah, they're not human beings. When you cannot, you know, everything you thought about this person, and you thought that they was a human being, you need to detach that from your mind first of all, right? But eventually this hits them that they've downgraded. They know they've downgraded. And the thing is about it, right, when I looked at this from a higher perspective, they're not able to contain you. They're not able to hold you down. They weren't able to break you. They weren't able to totally destroy you. And they always knew that they weren't valued at your level. They weren't at your level. You've got to understand this. They were never at your level. They'll never be at your level. They're not better than you. I don't care how many smirkish, snidey remarks or little twists and turns they put you on, or whatever like that. You was a normal functioning human being. You was dealing with this as a chosen one. pre-awakening, you didn't really know, you was dealing with this eye to eye, level to level, like you wasn't trying to mess about, and this person just was dragging you through the mud. Now, think about this now. How would you feel if you put yourself in their situation against you? They know you're a good person. So this is why when they jump to this new supply, this downgrade, this low-hanging fruit, yeah, this dusty fruit, yeah, from the tree, they just grabbed anything. And then momentarily, imagine how much of like a letdown that feels for them inside. Like when a balloon bursts, like you burst a balloon, it's popped. Their whole little bubble has popped. And they feel like, oh, yeah, I won't say the word, but they feel totally like, about how they feel about this situation. They don't know what to do because they've actually realized they've made a very drastic mistake. And they start to look at this new supply, and like some of them have actually dragged us so badly through the mud, yeah? They've actually caused such a problem between two individuals. Maybe we're not even allowed to be in the same vicinity as them. And they realize now there's no turning back. So they've walked through the door. They thought they was happy. The door's shut. It's locked. They can't get back to us. And they're walking forward. And they're now walking to this other door. But when they walk through that door, they realize it wasn't how they intended the room to be. They did not think it was meant. They did not think it was going to be like this. And I'm using that analogy there as walking into another relationship. And they start to look around the room, or look around at this person, and they only have one option left. And their option left is to try and turn that individual into you. And that's what these desperate human beings start to do. And, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 onwards, you've got to understand that these narcissists, as time goes on, naturally, as we get older, we gain a lot of wisdom through our elder years. So we should always respect our elders. Like, elders have certain wisdom about them. In all aspects, but the body starts to deteriorate, and these individuals haven't got that same flashiness about them as when they was younger. So you guys may have been together for 30 years or something like that, but what I'm saying is this person doesn't have the same wow factor about them anymore. It's just naturally occurring. They might have mentally, they don't even have it mentally. Naturally, we grow old gracefully. Chosen ones grow old gracefully. We grow old gracefully, yeah? These lot don't grow old gracefully. They deteriorate. They basically, they deteriorate. What's the word I'm looking for? These lot decompose. They're dying. Their skin is dying. They're dying. And they're in this new situation now with this new supply. And this new supply is totally brainwashed. So that's why we should never even hate the new supply. Never direct no energy towards the new supply. Because, if anything, this new supply is probably another narcissist, or they're probably some other toxic personality type anyway, yeah? Most likely, this is the case. And also, you've got these two toxic individuals together. Neither of them have empathetic abilities. The only thing that can function to make a healthy relationship is empathy, love, and all of that. These are devoid of that. They're devoid of all of these good traits. And this is when they start looking back at you, man. They really want you back. They don't know how to get you back. Some of them don't even know how to say it without their mouth to you in a normal human being way. They don't know how. They'll try everything. And when they realize these little tactics of trying to make you jealous didn't work, yeah, like I mentioned earlier on in the video about these social media, displaying all this stuff over social media, even that they'll start to regret. They'll start to double guess themselves and start to think, why did I do that? Why did I post all that over social media and let the person know my whereabouts, like that? And that's why I was saying, golden rule for you is, yeah, if you can gain anything from this video, yeah, if you had a look, we've all done it, we've all had a look, yeah, Like, even though we're chosen, we was going through an awakening, and that was a bad decision that we made. I'll be honest with you, we shouldn't look at their social media, we shouldn't care what they're doing. And the more that you enforce that is how you gain a certain superpower and a certain strength. Like, as much as someone else might go, what, you think that's powerful because you didn't have a look? It's very powerful. It's very powerful. If you can go to bed at night or go up in the morning and say, do you know what, it's one day where I haven't looked at their social media, and you even get to 7 days, yeah, where you haven't looked at their social media. I don't know if this is fresh for you now. This might have gone on fresh. This might be years after. You might be years after and you still have a little look now and then. But either way, if you've reached a period of time when you haven't had a look and you've achieved something, and even if you do slip up and have a look, yeah, try not to make it a habit. And you know what, don't beat yourself up if you do look. And the more that you start to awaken, if you do look back at their social media, these people are still displaying stuff in hopes that you see it. I'm talking years later. They will never get over a chosen one. They will never get over a chosen one. It's no doubt about it. They don't know what to do. You've got to understand, you were sent by the universe. You were sent by God their way to bring clarity to their lives. They had an opportunity to have a greater life. They had an opportunity to become a better person. Each and every day when these lot dragged you through the mud, they had a choice to make, and they could have been kind. They could have tried to learn empathy. They could have tried to destroy that evil part of them and detach from it. They didn't. You've got to understand, everything is a balance in life, yeah? And their balance was off balance. They had more weight on the side of destroying you than they had of love, care, and empathy. They didn't have it on their side. They don't have it in their bodies. They don't have it in their minds. They don't have it in their soul. They don't have it in their heart, yeah? And by them not having this, it's off balance. So you've got to understand, we can't look at these lot as normal human beings. And that's why I say, never ever think that they've outdone you. Like, if they've moved on and you haven't moved on, it's power to you. Don't think like you might feel like you need to go and be with someone once or something like that, or you might feel like you need to do that. All I'm saying is, yeah, it's more powerful by abstaining away from something, healing yourself. Yeah, you'll go through spells of loneliness, you'll go through little periods and stuff like that. But all I'm saying is, yeah, it's the way of God getting you to know yourself. You've got to understand, you truly lost yourself with this individual. That's how much of a mask that they done. That's how, you know, like after the love bombing phase and all of this stuff, they really pulled the rug from beneath your feet. But they're suffering from this as well. They're suffering. And I know you're going through certain degrees of suffering and pain and hurt, yeah? But let me tell you, give it some time. I don't know, all durations of time. There's no fixed time for me to tell you how long it's going to take, yeah? All of us will deal with it in different ways. Some people deal with this thing in years. Some people take months. Some people take days. Some people have such an awakening that they're so awake to the fact and they totally detach from the person. In my circumstance, it took me quite a while to fully grasp and get through the situation. But more and more that I was learning and learning and studying and stuff like this about these individuals, the more I started to come to terms with the fact about that you can't look at these human beings like they're individuals. And I learned that quite quickly. On, and that was kind of the molding ground for me to move forward in my journey. But as I said, it takes different amounts of time. But all you've got to understand is they haven't outdone you. If you've seen them with a new supply, oh my God, it's more power to you. If you haven't rushed out to a new relationship straight away and just jumped to the nearest thing that you don't really like and stuff like that, even if you've done that and made the mistake, don't worry about it. But I'm saying, like, if now you haven't, then that's power to you. You're waiting for that special someone. You're waiting for that someone who's empathetic. You're waiting for that someone who's kind. You're waiting for someone who could possibly be chosen. You're waiting for that someone who is going to have a dwelling in tranquility kind of relationship and bond and connection with each other, you know? So That's what you're waiting for. You're aiming for bigger and brighter things, yeah? And it don't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, it's never too late. Yeah, if you want to put real pursuits in trying to discern someone, then you might need to go through a few narcissists till you find the person. Yeah, and that's why we need to keep our guards up and you don't get intimate with them. And I've talked about videos about demonic soul ties and stuff like this, but obviously if you're just trying to find someone, then you can really put your spiritual glasses on and discern these individuals. Yeah, because this is the fact, this is the reason why I'm bringing this point up, is because this is what they're not doing. They're not doing that. The previous ones are not doing that. The previous narcissists that we was with or discarded us or we discarded them or whatever, they didn't do that. They ran out there and grabbed the low-hanging fruit, like I said, and they jumped on the nearest thing and they tried to think it would equate to a chosen one, and it didn't. It didn't equate to a chosen one. So that's why we don't need to make the same mistake and run out and grab a narcissist or something like that. But anyway, I'll leave the video there. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you all soon.